Brian, I love watching Succession. Logan Roy is deliciously evil, kind of like Satan in Paradise Lost.
It's very odd, the reaction to him. A lot of people really don't like him.
When I meet other people and they understand that Brian is my dad, they look at me with a combination of horror, shock, and pity.
He's quite a guy. I think he's problematic, but I don't think he's a bad man. I think he's a misunderstood man.
What is similar about them, his shouting is certainly a familiar thing. When I had my 7th birthday party, all the children would run out from the room where we had the tea party into the garden because they found my dad a bit scary.
Where do I and Logan break off?
Yes.
I'm an optimist. He's a pessimist,
Right.
you know, and that's the biggest difference.
He's amazingly optimistic. It's infectious, and he carries a lot of joy that he can share. He's a very generous person. Hi, I'm Margaret. I'm Brian Cox's daughter, and I'm excited to revisit his episode of Finding Your Roots.
He made his debut on London's famed West End when he was just 21 years old and spent decades as a leading man of the British theater before breaking into Hollywood. But looking back on it all, Brian takes the greatest pleasure in the endurance of his own character.
I'm really pleased that the boy is still there. That little guy there.
There he is.
Holding that ball.
There's the boy.
That's me. And I don't think I'm any different from that. That's what I look in the mirror and I go, oh, what happened? But that's my essence.
Yeah, that's true. He's very childish. It's not always very useful to his children if he is always the boy, but in terms of his work, being an innocent and open and curious in the acting world is so important because you've got to renew yourself over and over and over again. For the job, it's essential, I think.
Brian was about to confront a messy truth within his family tree. His mother's father, a man named James McCann, died long before Brian was born, after a troubled life. Growing up, Brian's mother had told him that James had served in the military. But Brian's many efforts to investigate this story had come to nothing. Would you please turn the page?
Sure.
Brian, this is a record from the National
my God.
Archives.
Sorry. Sergeant James McCann, ranked sergeant, enlistment, 26th of the July, 08. Wow, 08.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to know a lot about the relatives on his mother's side. And the oh my God is actually gratitude that he's now knowing what happened before. The McCann line is interesting to me because they are Scots-Irish. And I went to Ireland to university. And when you go to a place where your ancestors have come from, you look at yourself in a different way. You learn a different part of yourself.
James enlisted in the Black Watch, also known as the Royal Highlanders. In 1915, at the height of World War I, the Highlanders ended up on the front lines in France. He and his fellow soldiers were subjected to near-constant bombardment. And some of the shells contained poison gas. James may have been one of its victims. 5 months after he arrived in France, he found himself in Harley Hill Hospital in Yorkshire, England. We spoke to a scholar who told us that your grandfather's symptoms were typical of gas poisoning.
Wow.
What's it like to learn this?
It's relieving, actually, because it's like a ghost is being laid for a while, finally. You know.
Good.
You know, and especially that he had a particularly bad rap. You know, he was a drunk, he wasn't, you know, and nobody's taken into account any of this.
No.
And that's how he survived.
I don't think we have any understanding of, in the present day, of what, you know, the aftermath of surviving World War I is like. And probably even then, there wasn't much tolerance, because we know that James McCann was not considered a hero when he returned. War is a Pandora's box. You shut it and you try and get on with your life afterwards. But for most of the people, it's very difficult, I think.
Did you know that your grandfather received 4 honors for his service?
No.
Those are photos of the awards your grandfather won.
Wow.
He thought he was the only one to get awards. Now he has... Somebody else has got them.
Gosh. I mean, I'm sorry, but this is very... I know, it's really something. Really is something. I mean, I wish my ma could be here to see this. I wish my ma could just see all this about her dad.
He's genuinely touched, I think, by it, because this is a big piece of jigsaw slotted into place. It stops the rumors and the negativity around him. And people can't now say that James McCann was a drunk, neglectful man. Perhaps he was in some degree, but he was also a hero with post-traumatic stress from the war.
What are you proudest of?
I think I'm proudest of the fact that I've got 4 kids. I'm proud that they're their own people, though they irritate me incredibly sometimes. And I'm proudest that I've made it this far, that I've kept going.
I'm most proud of my dad for his ability to carry on. He's got great, huge stamina, and he digs very, very deep where other people give up. Certainly his career highs, the fact that they have kept coming is an extraordinary thing and a unique thing, and he knows that too. He is a talented actor, and their stars have lined up for him in a way that never lined up for any of his ancestors.